Hey, I'm Zeb.
And I'm Maddie.
And welcome to the We Don't Know Yet podcast. Whilst both Maddie and I are healthcare practitioners, we understand that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to healthcare. Should you require any medical attention, please seek out your local healthcare practitioner.
Alrighty. How are we going? It's pretty chill at the start.
Yeah, we just like simmer into it pretty easily.
Yeah.
The other week we were filming an episode and Maddie was talking about coffee with me, and I just assumed she was like asking me questions about.
I was just showing a lot of interest.
Like. Yeah, she
was
was
like,
really
how many
enthusiastic.
cups a day?
I was like, geez, this is a bit like intense for a usual conversation about how many coffees I have a day.
What else was it?
She's like, so we've started. And I was like, oh, you wanted to start from like then? She's like, yeah, we're going to do a little bit of like banter at the start of the
I could
episode.
see him, like I could kind of hear him getting like a lot more sus as it went on. He was
so
like,
funny.
yeah.
Like, Maddie, you're very passionate about coffee
Yeah.
this morning.
And I was like, what do you put in your smoothie? And he's like, banana. Like,
It's like, gee whiz, we're really breaking it down bit by bit.
We
here,
are
Maddie.
small talking.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
so much easier. Are we cool? We good?
We're good.
How you
Amazing.
Cool,
feeling?
man.
Yeah, it is nice and cool.
Feeling good. Baby's asleep.
Very,
I love
very
you.
good.
Yeah, we've got our first audience.
I know. We've got a little
Yes,
bubby
true.
audience. How old is Bowie now?
3 months.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, so exciting. Well, we are welcomed with Bronte Hendricks. She is a co-owner of Stellar Experiences, and I'm so excited to talk with you. I feel like I've been like such a fangirl for so long. So I was like, Bronte, you want to come on the podcast? And yeah, honestly, I'm really, really keen for this chat. It'll be good.
Oh, thanks, guys. I'm so excited to chat.
Amazing. This is also at the time of posting when around April?
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
think we'll be coming into April. Which is a pretty
Beautiful.
exciting
And
time.
April is Autism Awareness Month. So we thought what better month to have you on the pod and have a chat about, everything that you do and everything that you sort of stand for and are passionate about, which is amazing.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Yeah,
Excited.
pretty exciting. But before we get too deep and meaningful in conversation,
Yes, sorry.
how was everyone's weekend?
Oh my gosh, what did I do? I don't even remember. My partner's just had a surgery. So I had him out on the wheelchair on the Esplanade.
Oh.
He was wheeling the pram and I was wheeling him.
What was your story in your like modern family? It was like
We
Billy
are-
holding Bowie and
Oh my God, a modern family at the moment. Absolute chaos, but we're just making it work.
do you have an elevator up into your apartment?
No elevator.
my
So he's hopping, but he's so agile. Like
Yeah.
I keep thinking if it was me on crutches, I'd be going nowhere. Like he just hops around everywhere. I'm like, thank
Oh my
God.
goodness.
Yeah.
That is impressive.
It's hard to be like without one leg though. Like if I imagine what it'd be like to have an injury like in a leg versus like a hand, I'd be like lost
Oh
for
my
what to
God.
do. I'd be like, oh my gosh, I can't use both my feet.
I keep saying that to him. I'm like, if only you just did this to your hand. Like,
Yeah.
it'd be so much easier. You could just still walk around, go to work probably.
Yeah. Or
But
even
no.
like the weird weight distribution as well with the car. So I got a thing to just throw everything off kilter a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Well-
You'd be surprised how many low backs I see after someone's come out of like a surgery of some sort in the lower limb because they've just been using crutches the whole
Oh,
time.
for sure.
Right.
We'll
Or
have
they've
to
been
book him in
hopping
to
or-
see you.
Yeah, there you go. Book him in. We'll
Give
get
him
him
Should
in.
have wheeled him in
Make
here
sure
as
he's all
well.
sorted. Yeah.
Added to the audience.
Oh. So do you guys try and get out and like get some sunshine as best you can?
Yeah, like I feel like his mental health just sitting inside, like you can imagine, like it's just
Yeah.
so boring. So yesterday I was like, all right, we're all going to the park. Like, let's wheel you there, get Bowie there, and then vitamin D.
It's way better. Yeah.
Better.
We'd like to take a break from today's episode to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Drip Digital. They manage all of our audio and video editing as well as our social media marketing. Without them, the We Don't Know Yet podcast wouldn't be possible. So thank you again. Even just sitting and like feeling the breeze as well. It's so much nicer
100%.
than a lounge room. I'm sure your lounge room's lovely, but like it's just way better to be
Definitely.
outside. Yeah.
Yeah, especially when the weather's as good as it has been, and we probably won't. I'm really excited for the winter months coming up because being from Melbourne, I haven't worn my Kathmandu in like 8 months, and it's a bit rogue. So.
Collecting
Like
dust.
Kathmandu.
Yeah, it is.
Do you normally wear it like around this time of year down in Melbourne?
Yeah, trackies. If it's cold in Melbourne, I'll have the Kathmandu on. I'll have a hoodie underneath, and then I'll have the
my-
tracky pants on. It's so good.
That's insane.
So good.
I think we're very similar and we love the warmth.
I know.
Yeah, I can't deal with the cold.
I love the warmth.
Goodness me. How's your weekend?
Yeah, good. We went to Toddy's in Bondi.
Love.
Yeah, it was unreal. So I had a voucher for my birthday, and I was like, you know what, Gab, let's get out. Go to Toddy's, dabble in some food, and it was so good.
Oh no.
I'd never been there before.
Sorry.
Love that from you.
Yeah, stole the spotlight there.
But yeah, no, it was really nice. And then, yeah, we just had work on the rest of the weekend.
Nice. I feel like a Sunday lunch is such a vibe as well.
Yeah.
I love a Sunday lunch. lunch.
It's good.
Love a long lunch.
Yeah, I would like happily stay home a Friday, Saturday, and then have like a nice long lunch on a Sunday. I don't know, just caps off the weekend nicely.
Yeah, well, because we have Mondays off. Like Sunday tends to be our Saturday.
Oh,
so
you got the long weekend.
yeah. Which is nice. We work this Saturday, which is the only downside. But yeah, it's really nice to kind of be doing stuff on the Sunday when people are still out and about a little bit.
Yeah.
And then on a Monday, we have like a full day to ourselves.
That's
no
so
one's out
nice,
and about.
yeah.
So lovely. Oh, very nice.
Yeah, what about you? How was your weekend?
Yeah, good. I actually did a breathwork class on Saturday, which was really cool. I'm like getting into breathwork. I'm like someone that I can't meditate. My mind just like goes here, there and everywhere. But breathwork's really good. And yeah, I've done a few of them, but that was actually the best one that I've done so far. It was by the, I forget the name now, the Breathwork Society.
Okay.
But it went for like 4 hours and it was pretty like reasonably priced. I feel like a lot of them now are quite dear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like trending.
Yeah. So it was that.
Very
It was
trendy.
good. But I was saying to Zeb off air, I like wasn't happy or sad walking into it. I was just kind of like, it was a nice day. It was a weekend, like pretty chill. Sobbed the whole time. And I was like, whoa, there was some pent up emotion in there.
Wow.
Just got to let it all out.
Yeah, but like not sad, still just like
Yeah.
release. I don't know. It was
Probably
good
because
though.
you're so busy, like you just like don't even give
know.
yourself a chance to feel the emotion a lot of the
Yeah,
time. That'd be
yeah.
like me. My mind is exactly the same. I cannot meditate. I cannot nap. I can't even sleep at nighttime. My brain's just like, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, chaos.
I know. It was good though. It was good. And then they did an ice bath, but by the time we actually went to do it, the sun had warmed up the ice bath so much. So it was still cold, but they
kinda
were
nice.
like, yeah, most people were like, it's way colder than normal. I was like, this is enough for me. I'm happy with this.
I'm good.
Yeah. But no, it was good. It was a good way to start the weekend. So I know I already introduced you quite briefly at the start of today's pod, but would you mind explaining to, I guess, who you are, what you do, and, all that you're passionate about?
Of course. So my name's Bronte. I started Stellar Experiences when I was 22. So at the time, was not in a place wanting to start a business at all. I met my now business partner, Luke, working at another disability service. And we were just really passionate about what we did. We worked in a transition to work program. So we had the opportunity to work with young adults that were just leaving high school and we're trying to get them a job in open employment in the community. And we just saw firsthand, I guess, how isolated they were on the weekends. I came in every single Monday morning like, what did everyone do on the weekend? Like, I went here, I went there. Like, what did you guys do? And it was quite shocking just to hear, I guess, how confined they were to their family networks and how they didn't really have a community that they belonged to. Like us, when we leave high school, a lot of us go to uni or we go to TAFE or we go straight into the workforce where we, find a community of colleagues and friends to, I guess, continue that next chapter with. But unfortunately for a lot of young adults with disabilities, when they leave high school, they don't necessarily have a community that they belong to anymore. So I guess, to see that firsthand was really hard. And especially being a similar age to them at the time, it really hit me, I think, because I just had never thought about what people with disabilities did after high school and what their experience was. So Luke and I were looking for something for them, like looking for a service where, they could make friends and they could go out and experience life. And unfortunately, there just wasn't much out there at the time. So we started Stella nearly 5 years ago now.
Gosh.
Yeah, which is wild.
Flies by, doesn't it?
It's gone so fast. I feel like I've aged a million years in that time. But it's been the most incredible journey. It's been wild. It's been busy. We've probably had little to no work-life balance at times, but it's been the most amazing experience.
Yeah, amazing. And look, as somebody who, works for you guys, I'm the biggest fangirl. I think it's amazing. And when I come in on a Monday and do the cooking program, it's honestly like the highlight of my week. I say to Zeb, I'm like, I can have, the most hectic week around it, but as long as I have that, it's such just sets you up so well mentally working with the guests and just interacting with everyone.
It's like the most feel-good community. Like every single guest is just so happy to be there, so happy to make friends. Like the support workers are incredible. They bring like the best energy.
Yeah.
Every day they show up to work, they're having fun. The guests are having fun. The admin team are incredible at their jobs. Like everyone, I think, because we all have that same purpose and that same drive to want to help break down those barriers in the community for people with disabilities and create more opportunities. Everyone's just on a bit of a stellar high all the time.
So good. I love it. And you guys are obviously aged around 16 to 35. That's sort of your inclusion bracket, I guess it's the right way to put it, for mild to moderate disabilities. I guess if it's okay, what sort of led you guys to having that, criteria almost?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. it's a funny one. We get asked a lot, like, why did you specifically have that age bracket? And when Luke and I were looking for our guests, like a service for them back in the day, what we found was that there was a lot of services out there that were 18 to say 60. And we found that while they were incredible and a lot of those services were providing amazing supports, it wasn't really the foundation for them to set them up to make friendships and to make friends, like, you know, who are like-minded or going through the same experience of life.
Yeah.
So we thought by creating that age bracket, we could actually help them like make really meaningful relationships and I guess tailor services for them that's going to really help them become more independent as they grow older.
And does it become easier as well to target some of those activities that you guys kind of offer at the program for those age groups as well? So obviously, like if they're all a similar age and similar interest kind of thing, going through that same part of their life becomes a little bit easier to actually.
Yeah, definitely. And I think like we have all of our support workers who are in the same age bracket as well. And we did that specifically so that when our guests are out in the community, they feel like they're not necessarily with a carer. They feel like they're out with friends and they know that we're there to support them, but we're always kind of like a step behind them. Like we're here for you, like if you need our support, but we want them to make sure that they feel included in the community and not segregated or I guess highlighted for being indifferent in any way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's definitely like that as well. Like, you know, when you do go to Stella as well and hanging out with the guests, it kind of just feels like you're hanging out with a mate. Like, it's so good.
Yeah, I was about to say, I feel like all the time I see your socials and obviously you work with them quite regularly on a Monday.
Yeah.
And I always just see you're having the best time on a Monday. Just like you're at the park doing something, some sort of activity, you got cooking.
It feels weird to call it work because you're just like laughing, having banter. I'm like, this is the best.
Yeah, for sure. And I think like it's really cool that, a lot more people are getting to experience, I guess, bonding and having relationships with people with disabilities because like that's the way it should be. And
Absolutely.
I think in the past, people with disabilities have experienced a lot of isolation. But I think like from where we're standing now and seeing how much like our Stella community is integrated, I guess, amongst everyone else in sports now and going out to music festivals and doing absolutely everything. Yeah. I think there's definitely like a bit of a change happening. And I think in the future, people with disabilities will be way more integrated.
And it sets up that that timeline as well, doesn't it? So like for you guys, 16 to 35, was it?
Yeah.
So, you know, like if you think about the relationships that they're forming in those years and later on in life as well, hopefully they carry through with those relationships and that sets up kind of when they do pass that age group of 35, it's kind of like, well, they've got their community and they can almost give back or.
Definitely. Like we always say that it's kind of like we're going to put ourselves out of a job. Like everyone's saying like, you know, why wouldn't you continue those supports? And like the best thing that we could achieve is that by the time they're 35, they're so independent that they don't need us. And there's relationships now, there's friendships, there's guests that want to move out of home together. There's guests that are going away on the weekend now without us. And like, it's just so cool that I guess we were part of, I guess, helping them be more independent.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, as you said, like definitely like a lot more in the past. Unfortunately, still to this day, there is that level of stigma and sort of segregation of people living with a disability. How do you guys, I guess, sort of go about challenging that stigma and breaking down those barriers?
Yeah, it's a good question. We, I guess, just really encourage our guests to just feel like they can belong in any community. And through this experience, I guess we've learned firsthand that there was still isolation in so many areas. One of the areas being like sports. When we first started Stella, we were really keen to get them involved in the local OzTag team. Mm-hmm. And we spoke to like the OzTag community and they're like, yeah, like this is amazing. Like we've never done this before. And it was just like such a crazy thing to process that there'd never been people with disabilities playing in a local OzTag competition.
Yeah.
And there is sporting groups out there, but normally they're segregated to just people with disabilities. So there's, you know, like disability soccer clubs and disability rugby league. But like we want them to just be out there playing, you know,
part of the comp.
All our friends and like a part of the local community. So that's something that we started to do, and we're doing it with basketball and soccer as well. And we're down at the local pool. We just want them to feel part of society rather than keeping a group of them segregated, you know, whilst doing the same sport.
That's wild that like when you approached OzTag, nobody had ever done something similar. That's so mind-blowing.
It's crazy. Yeah, it honestly was mind-blowing because we were just like, oh, like why not? But like they were like, of course you can do it. And like they're excited about it. Yeah. It was just like such a funny thing to process that that's never been done before. And it was like, we're in 2023. Like how has that not been done before? So I guess it's cool to keep I guess, being a voice and advocating for them to be part of the local community, because it makes such a difference to them and to everyone else that's like on the receiving end of that.
And do you find that a lot of it has to do with awareness of what some of the disabilities actually are? Because I feel like that's a big part of that story, is people just aren't educated in a lot of the disabilities that are actually out there. So they might not understand the full breadth of actually how many different types of disabilities and what the spectrums actually look like.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess, like you guys said, like Autism Awareness Month, that is an invisible disability. And our guests with invisible disabilities, they can struggle the most, like maybe more than a physical disability or someone with Down syndrome or whatnot, because in the community, it's not highlighted that they do have a disability. So if they are experiencing any challenges, whether that's like, you know, catching the bus or the train or in an overwhelming environment like a music festival, without someone being able to, I guess, understand that they are struggling, like it can be quite difficult. Have you guys seen the sunflower lanyards that are going around?
No.
Oh, the sunflower lanyards is a really, really cool initiative that came out recently. And it's been super helpful for like traveling. And basically someone with an invisible disability can pop on a sunflower lanyard. And now that we're creating more awareness about what the sunflower lanyards are, it just means that like if you see someone wearing one, you have that kind of understanding that they might need a little extra time.
Yep.
You know, just like if they're going through the airport, if they're on the train, just basically that they are someone that might struggle a little bit more in those environments, and just to kind of like give them that space.
That's amazing.
It's really cool. So at the airport now, if you're wearing a sunflower lanyard, you literally can go through and access like an area to
like
sorry,
the priority lane or something.
Yeah, like a priority lane.
Yeah.
But yeah, everyone's kind of becoming more aware about it and giving a little bit more space and time for those people that are wearing them.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Do they have like a social media, or is there an organisation that started this?
Yeah, an organisation that started it. I'm actually not even sure where, but we've started to utilise them for travel and stuff and at music festivals, and people have been so receptive of it and so helpful.
Yeah.
Even at theme parks and whatnot, people are just giving a little bit more extra time and just understanding the needs of the group. Because in the past, when you are out in the community with a group of invisible disabilities, it can be really hard to like, you know, you don't want to say, hey, we've got
you don't want to make
with
them
disabilities
feel,
here. Like you don't want to make them feel different. So yeah, that's just like such a nice subtle way of like, I guess, allowing the other people to understand.
I feel like in spaces like a festival or a music festival as well, when other people might be, you know, under the influence or intoxicated or whatever, they might not be as receptive to invisible disabilities. So having that visual cue, that's really helpful.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's really cool.
Amazing. Yeah, very cool.
And so I know we've already touched on some different things that you guys are pretty proactive with in terms of activities that the groups do, but what kind of services do you actually offer to the different groups?
Yeah, of course. So we started out predominantly just offering social outings, and that was originally just on the weekends, just as a way for them to make friends and to access the community. Then we started creating programs. So basically everything that we do, our goal is to help our guests become more independent. So we've got like our cooking and nutrition program that the wonderful Maddie runs as a way to, I guess, make them feel comfortable and confident in the kitchen, and hopefully with, you know, the fact that they can go home and start to help out their parents or start to help prepare a meal for themselves, which so many of them do now, which is
so cool.
So cool. So yeah, encouraging their independence through cooking, which is amazing. We have like a navigating social relationships where we talk through like social media and appropriate usage and whatnot. Relationships with friends and family. We do sports. So we've got like swim club. We want to start a run club actually.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, you have to get you guys involved in that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're doing OzTag, soccer. What else do we do? We started a Stellar Stays program, which is like a really incredible program where we have 4 guests at a time go down to our Shell Cove office, and they stay there for the weekend, and basically they do everything in terms of learning to live out of home. So they'll do like the washing, they'll do the cooking, they'll set up their bedroom, they'll go through like a nighttime routine, basically just give them the opportunity to see what it's like to live out of home, in hope that like with more training and more support, one day they can live out of home. Gosh, we do so many things.
Do so many cool things.
Travel. So we do domestic and international travel. We've got trips this year to Fiji, Japan, Europe,
So
America. Cool. It's wild. But yeah, pretty much giving them like, it's kind of like the opportunities are endless, but anything we can do to support them to be more independent, to make friends and to access the community, like we are here for.
It's so cool to see how highly sought after each and every experiences is too. Like as soon as something comes out, all the guests are like jumping on it and like fighting to get a place. Like
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
It's wild. It's honestly become like ticker tech, which is so insane. Like I think back to when Luke and I first started and we had like maybe 1 or 2 experiences a month, and now we have like 8 experiences on a Saturday. Like
Amazing.
I think they uploaded the experiences for March and there was 400 experiences.
Oh my gosh.
And they sold out overnight. Like it's wild, but it really does show you that there was such a gap and it was so needed.
Yeah.
People with disabilities of this age gap really were left out in the past. And when you speak to them now and you hear their stories like through high school and leaving high school, and a lot of them do speak about how isolated they were and how they didn't have that community of friends. And now they've got like the biggest, funnest community in the world.
Yeah.
They've got group chats, they're meeting up on the weekends. Like there's so many relationships. There's groups that are going away without us. Like it's insane.
The
It's
stellar
incredible.
relationships are my fave.
Yes.
It's very cute.
They always say it's a bit of a stellar cult. Like we're all just in it. Everyone's so loved up and happy, and yeah,
So
it's the
nice.
best.
It's really funny, or not funny, it's really nice as well when like some of the guests sign up for certain experiences, but they all talk amongst themselves like, what are you on? What are you on? Like,
Yes.
it's really
Trying
cool.
to
They all get so
coordinate their
excited.
experiences together.
Yeah, it's really
It's
cool.
really cool. It's a very special community. Like it's honestly, I don't think I reflect on it enough to like actually take in like how insane the growth has been and how many lives have been changed through it. It's really, really special.
Yeah, and look, on that note, like, do you ever have people that, you know, get beyond or to the sort of end of that age bracket and then come back to you and be like, thank you so much. Like, you know, I've been doing all these things with my life since working with Stella or joining Stella.
Yeah, we've had a lot of like guests and families that have really highlighted like the difference it's made, not only for the guests, but for themselves in their own independence. Like, because a lot of them are now like going out on the weekends or going away for the first time without their kids. And a lot of parents have spoken to us who their child might have been in speech therapy their whole life. And it wasn't now until they're in a group of friends going out in the community that like they've grown so much in confidence. So yeah, a lot of skills that, you know, you can sit in a room and try and teach, but it's not actually until you're in that group or you're out in the community that you can actually practice them.
Yeah.
Has made such a difference.
Yeah, amazing.
We've got guests that are living out of home now by themselves. Kieran moved out of home with the support of our support workers. And that's the biggest goal for like 99% of our guests is that they want to live out of home just like us.
Yeah.
So yeah, working towards that goal is something that we really want to do for a lot of them.
Amazing. Kieran's amazing as well. Last year he did, Kieran's in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Was it 40 marathons in 40 days?
Oh
Oh my
Insane.
God, he's insane.
He's a
Kieran
weapon.
is mind-blowingly insane. He needs to join a run club with you guys.
He would be all of
Yeah.
us. He'd just be so
He
far ahead.
is so speedy. Yeah, he's done marathons. He did 40 marathons in 40 days every day.
Wow.
He's doing the Gold Coast Marathon. I think that's coming up soon.
He's amazing.
Incredible. Yeah.
That would be real. Oh, what an achievement. That's
And
so
Kieran
cool.
was the reason why we went skydiving once. He was like, I want to go skydiving. And we were like, all right, let's do it. So now I think there's like over 20 guests we've had jump out of a plane.
Oh my gosh.
Which is just crazy. Like it's so cool and something they never thought they would do. But you've got Kieran there that's in a wheelchair that's like, I want to do this. And we're like, all right, like let's do it.
Yeah.
So cool.
Absolutely. And do you guys take on requests from the guests of certain experiences?
Yeah, we always ask them. So we have a group chat and like a community page and we're like, let us know what you want to do and like we'll try and make it happen. And yeah, 99% of the time, I don't think we've ever said no to anything really.
Yeah, wow.
But yeah, it's been really cool. And like we want them to dictate what they want to do.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, like they just want to do what we're all doing. Like, you know, I think they were all at a music festival yesterday afternoon at Somersault down in Wollongong, all living their best lives.
So cool.
So cool.
Okay, so this is a new segment on the podcast. Bront, you are the first guinea pig, if you will. So essentially, each and every episode now, either Zeb or I are going to read out 3 different weird and wacky health terms or conditions or something like that, something to do with health. And you guys have to guess what they are.
my God.
And then I'll reveal the actual definition of what the word is.
All right, clearly Maddie organised and orchestrated this games to make sure that you weren't alone on your first experience. Because I'm also sitting here
Thank
going,
God.
what is happening?
Actually, this morning I called Zeb before I went to work, and he's like, "You haven't sent through the words." I was like, "Yeah, intentionally." Like, you're not meant
She's
to
like,
know.
you are also guessing.
Oh,
and I was
thank
like,
God. I'm glad I'm not alone.
It's so funny. Okay, so the first word is, I hope I pronounced this right. Synesthesia. Synesthesia. Who wants to go first with their guess?
Oh.
synesthesia.
Look, there we
Synesthesia. I'm just thinking of anesthesia.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Synesthesia, but oh no.
Oh no, this is hard.
Use your imagination.
Synesthesia. Sin.
Bron, do you want to have a go?
Dude, you made them so hard for the first one.
I just Googled. I was like, weird health conditions.
Yeah, I know. Okay, synesthesia.
Synesthesia. Obviously, I think the likelihood of getting it correct is quite slim. So.
It's very slim, but I'm gonna have a stab. Anesthesia.
Like
amnesia.
an allergy to anesthesia.
Oh, I like that.
Ooh, I was gonna say.
Interesting.
I wonder if it comes under like amnesia, like some sort of memory.
Okay.
No, I feel like I'm well off.
Just have a crack.
You've got a good game face. Like you're not giving
I know,
anything
she's not
away.
giving anything.
Poker face over there.
It's been months in the work. I'm like, Zeb, we need to play this
Yeah,
game.
she's been pushing this game for that many weeks. So I'm like, she's definitely got a list that she's just ready
been
to
playing at
bombard
home.
me with.
Her partner's answered like the 100th one in the row.
Yes, synesthesia. Oh gosh, Mads.
Just use your imagination.
I'm gonna say
You got it.
some sort of mental health condition. I don't know.
Okay, all right, ready?
Yeah.
So synesthesia is when someone's senses are mixed together. So they might like see colours, hear music, or taste flavours. Well, hear music is, oh, hang on.
Synesthesia.
You can hear music. That doesn't make sense.
Okay.
But yeah, so they might like taste. Oh, okay, sorry. I butchered that.
We're all learning.
Yeah, we're all learning. You can tell I've really looked at this. So they can see colours or hear music or taste flavours when they see certain words. So they might see like a word on a piece of paper and then they'll get that sensation.
See like a color orange and then taste orange.
Oh my God, what? That's
Wow,
crazy.
okay.
Yeah.
I would never guess that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
This is a hard game.
This is a hard game.
Well, it was ChatGPT. I was like, give me some like health
ChatGPT
conditions.
is going to give us some real like
I
wacky
know.
stuff.
Okay, the next one is Capgras syndrome.
I'm really nervous.
This
I'm going to
one's
get something from my own industry and then not know what it is.
None of these are food. Oh, that one was, but like the others aren't food related.
Capgras.
Capgras syndrome.
Capgras.
Did you make sure you Google Translate to make sure you're saying it right as well? Because I feel like that's important.
Next episode.
Next episode. Capgras syndrome.
Oh my
Capgras,
God.
Capgras.
This is a wild game.
Yeah, Capgras syndrome. Capgras syndrome.
Anyone?
Capgras syndrome.
Yeah.
There's no hints in the word, is there?
Yeah, can we get a clue?
Nothing like,
Can we
any
get a clue?
clue?
I
I'd
feel
love
like
a
we need a
clue.
clue.
Ooh,
Just to put us
okay.
in the direction.
Like you could go anywhere.
It's a person will think something differently about another person in their life, if that's helpful.
Is that the answer?
No.
Oh.
I don't know if this is helpful or unhelpful.
Person will think something differently.
Mm.
Someone in their life.
Yeah. So like you might go to Gabby and then if you've got this syndrome, you'll think something differently about it, but I can't give away what the differently thing is.
What?
Might happen
Oh,
too.
I think so. Like, is it something that's developed over time? Like, or is it something that you're
No, it's pretty random, I think.
okay? I'm just trying to think. So
I'd love to know statistically how many people have this.
Capgras
Yeah.
syndrome. Yeah.
I'm
actually,
just
I don't
picturing
know.
like a filter. When you put a filter in, you see a different face through the filter. I don't know.
Bron, do you have any guesses?
Capgras syndrome.
You're not meant to get them right, guys.
Yeah. Maybe you see someone and you think something different about them.
Yeah.
And it's the difference that we're trying to look for then, hey. I'm going to say, I don't know, do they smell funny?
Is that your
Yeah,
final
that's my
answer?
guess.
Okay.
Smell different?
You got this.
You see them really young.
Oh,
that's a good one.
I
That's a good one.
like
That's a good one.
that. Unfortunately, you're both wrong.
Oh, what do you mean
What?
I'm wrong?
Bondi, I really like that one. That
Wow.
was good. So it's a rare condition when someone believes that a person they know has been replaced by an imposter. So you might go home and be like, this isn't the real Billy. Like,
Oh
it's a
my
fake.
God.
Dude, I
Yeah.
watched a movie about this not long ago.
It
Oh,
sounds
I'd
quite
love to watch
like
that
too
movie.
good to be true. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
going to leave it at 2 because I feel
Yeah, I
like
feel like the
it's
third
really
one's
hard.
going to be way
Hard
harder.
game.
It's cool.
Maddie was like,
I wanna do one to
right,
you.
these first two, so easy. That's what she was singing in her head. That's why she's cut the last one out.
Well, mainly because I actually don't really know how to pronounce the last one. I
She's
don't even have
done
a
her Google
go.
Translate.
Oh, that was fun.
That's a fun game.
Thanks for
Hard
that,
game.
Matt. I can't wait for my turn next episode.
Next episode. you
I'm
can
also
really do
excited
it.
for your turn. Get it good.
Oh, so good.
Oh gosh,
All right,
there you
break.
go.
That was fun.
That was fun.
All right, we're back. So, as we said, obviously this month is Autism Awareness Month, and a big part of the guests, or a big part of the cohort, I suppose,
Yeah.
of Stellar Experiences are people living with autism. If it's all right, could you share a little bit about your experience? So I know that you have a personal experience of, is it Ronan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to hear a bit more about that.
Of course. So I went to school with Ronan.
Yeah.
He was a few years below me. So I think I was in year 9 and Ronan was in year 7. Ronan's on the autism spectrum. He's an incredible human. I think at school I noticed that he didn't really have a group that he belonged to in his year at first. He was, slightly a little bit more isolated and probably just struggled to, I guess, communicate with others in his year. And again, people in his year probably struggled to understand, I guess, his needs or the challenges he might face socially. Whereas it was something that I kind of got and I felt quite drawn to Ronan. So I ended up spending pretty much every recess and lunch with Ronan. We had the best time through high school. He was always sitting with my group. And when I left high school, it was just like so sad. I don't even know if Ronan had a phone at the time, but it was kind of like this, how will we ever stay in contact? So yeah, I graduated high school and I never really saw Ronan again, which was quite heartbreaking. He definitely was a big part of why I'm in the job I am in today. When I left high school, I went on to uni and I studied a Bachelor of Inclusive Education and Disability Studies. And I think, my passion really, sparked from high school, just from seeing, that I did take to people with disabilities so well and I wanted to work in that industry. And when I was in high school, not a lot of people were really working in the disability industry. It wasn't really a career that many people were talking about. There was lots of people talking about education, but I guess more disability studies wasn't something. So when I found that degree, I was really excited. And then I reconnected with Ronan when we started Stella. I reached out to his brother, I think on Instagram, slid into his DMs, oh my God, are you Ronan's brother? I have started this business. I'd love Ronan to be part of it. He's such a big reason why I'm here, where I am today. Yeah. And Ronan joined. And now, Ronan's just living his best life.
He's the most lovely human. I was wondering how you got in contact with him after all those years.
Yeah, I know. Through his brother. So cool. It was so cool to reconnect with Ronan. Pretty much every time we see each other, we're like, it's a reunion. He's the best. He's come so far. How I remember Ronan at school to where he is now, his confidence, he's on TV. He's like a celebrity.
He is.
He's
he was
modeling.
On Love on the Spectrum. I haven't watched that series.
Yeah.
It was quite a few years ago now.
Yeah, he was
wasn't
on
it?
Love on the Spectrum. He's doing modeling. He's publicly speaking at so many different events. He's an incredible human.
Amazing.
And it's really special to be part of his journey.
And it's really nice to come full circle in those moments too. That's such an exciting experience for you and for him as well, probably in a sense that, you guys, that was such a big part of your life for so many years. And
For
then
sure.
ending up in a career where you work with people that, you've spent time with in the past is amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool. He definitely opened my eyes, I guess, to wanting to support people with disabilities and having that awareness and understanding from such a younger age, which, like we said earlier, through lack of education, not a lot of us have. And now through Stella being able to, I guess, really influence the community and I guess highlight all these incredible people like Ronan and just show off all their talents and skills, and then, everyone else in the community can understand and be
well, as you said before, people living on the autism spectrum, it is such a silent disability, and you guys are amazing, obviously, and being way more inclusive. But for anyone listening that might not be in the disability space, are there any things that they can do, in their day-to-day lives to be more aware and be more inclusive of people on the autism spectrum?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I guess the sunflower lanyards that we spoke about earlier,
Yep.
you guys will probably see that out in the community now, my words. You guys will probably see the sunflower lanyards out in the community now. And I guess that's a way that you guys can be a little bit more aware about those invisible disabilities. Yeah. If anyone is a boss and they have a workplace that are looking to hire people with disabilities, we are the biggest advocates for all of our guests. 99% of our guests, unfortunately, don't have work. Work is something that they still struggle, I guess, so much with they're so incredibly talented, hardworking, will show up to work before anyone else, will never have a sick day. But there's just such a lack of opportunities for people with disabilities. And that's an area that I think still needs a lot of work. And that's an area now that we're trying to, I guess, really encourage and educate people on hiring people with disabilities and giving them the opportunity, because they deserve it so much.
Absolutely. And I guess that kind of segues quite nicely into, some of the biggest misconceptions around people on the autism spectrum. What have you found in this space or working in this space that there are?
I think people just hear the term disability and they like the term in itself. I think disability, you just think like there's areas where they struggle.
Yeah.
And yes, like they've faced a lot of adversity their whole lives, but that makes them stronger. Like it genuinely does. Like they are so resilient. They're so strong. They're like, they themselves know areas where they need a little bit of support. And there's a lot of services out there that have supported them to get them to where they are today. So I think like for anyone in the community, it's just breaking down that barrier in your mind about what the disability is and trying to just see them for who they are. Like they all have an incredible story. They're all such amazing people. Like they all have passions and interests and hobbies just like you and I. And yeah, I guess just because they were labelled with a disability doesn't mean that they're incapable. So just trying to, I guess, wipe away what that term means in your own mind and just try to like hear them out or give them an opportunity, because like they're so deserving and they're so capable.
Yeah.
16 to 35, obviously like still in the early side of the age bracket, working with people that might still be in school. Do you find that there's support to not necessarily the group that obviously have the disabilities, but the other groups, those without disabilities, about particular things that they need to look out for? Because I think it's like, like you were talking about it before, just in a sense that you felt like you could really connect with Ronan at the high school level.
Yeah.
But like when I think about my own school journey, I don't really feel like I was spoken to about it much or
same.
educated
Yeah,
about
no.
it much.
And
I think we
it's
need
a really
more education.
good question. Like, and I don't think there is much
Too
education.
much, yeah.
And I think like now that people with disabilities are more integrated into schools, I think people like other members of the cohort will be a little bit more receptive and understanding. But I think in the past, there was a lot of schools that were predominantly just for people with disabilities, or there was a separate section of the school that was, again, for people with disabilities that had different times, recesses and lunches,
So weird.
Yeah, it's just not right. Like they need to be integrated. They need to be around everyone in their cohort experiencing that. 100%, like there might be an area for them where they have more support for the learning, but like sports, recess, lunch, like that integration is so needed for the other kids to learn and understand as well.
Yeah.
But I do think, that's an area that needs a lot of work. Maybe I need to go talk to some schools.
I was gonna say,
Yeah. Another
Get in there, guys.
forward
I got
planning.
heaps of free time.
Yeah,
But
you
no, that is
actively
needed.
do it.
But even like someone like Ronan going and speaking in schools,
and
like
giving a little bit of
a little bit of insight,
perspective,
perspective for sure, because they do have challenges and they don't need that extra challenge of, feeling like they don't belong at school. And it's heartbreaking hearing stories of school. Like I've spoken to so many guests that speak about, being bullied at school or left out or not going to formal or schoolies or like just these experiences that we all got and we often take for granted because, we never thought any different of it. We had that group of friends and we felt like school was so fun to go to see all of your friends and whatnot. But giving them those opportunities because they just deserve them like anyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things that I was kind of like, I honestly just don't remember. And like we talk all the time about, when we're looking at different, conditions or things like that we're managing in our own clinical practice. It's like how valuable that education is to our patients when they're going through something. But like, even just normal everyday general pop, not having that understanding or that education and that bias in their head of what a community looks like is such a hard thing to overcome without.
Definitely. And I think like what you guys are doing right now, like even speaking about this topic is creating awareness. And I think Stella's been really powerful in our local community, even just through social media, just like, I guess, us showcasing and highlighting all of our guests and all the amazing things they're doing, like whether it's them moving out of home, whether it's someone finally getting a job, whether it's them just out on the weekends, like having fun. I've seen like firsthand barriers being broken down and people saying like, wow, like that person did this, like, you know, how, like, and it's because they can, like, you know, we're giving them the opportunity to, we're giving them the support to, but creating awareness, talking about it, getting guests with disabilities to like speak, like, you know, in a school or on a podcast or something themselves, like giving them the opportunity to voice, I guess, you know,
absolutely
their experience is so important.
And look, I think you'd be like similar in your clinical practice as well, Zeb, but like I'm very big at sweet spot on being neurodiverse. As a neurodivergent person myself, I just think it's so important. Like a lot of my work is behavior change, as is yours. So I think trying to fit like almost like a triangle through a circle, so to speak, is just like trying to have a model that is so neurotypical. Obviously it's not going to work for everybody. And I think it's really important that we are adaptable, not just in clinical practice, but in all avenues of life. For people learn differently, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Where do you guys see yourself heading now at Stella? Because you know, we're catapulted straight into 2024. You guys have already done such a great job building your brand and your business.
That's insane.
That's huge.
5 years.
We were talking about the fact that we need to get you guys down to Melbourne.
Yes, we were saying that earlier.
Yeah,
I think like Luke and I, we've always just been so passionate about what we do that having like a business plan or direction has almost been like challenging for us, because at the end of the day, when someone says like, you know, where are you guys going in 5-10 years? We're always like, oh, like we just want to help more guests and like help more people experience life. But now, I guess with more experience and an understanding of like our guests' needs, an area that we really do want to help and support them is in employment. Like I said earlier, so many of them don't have jobs and they're so capable. So whether or not that's like us starting our own business to employ them, or whether it's us just advocating for them to get jobs in the community, that's an area we really want to support our guests. And also to live out of home. Like I said earlier, they all want to live out of home and it's such a cool goal. So yeah, we really want to help them develop those independent living skills and give them that confidence. It's
kind of nice that it's really organic, you know, like you guys are heading in a direction where your target audience or the community that you've built needs to go. So. Which is really nice. It's nice not sometimes having like a real script in terms of where you got to go.
I think having like a business like 5 or 10 year trajectory could be quite limiting in your case, because you don't know.
It's cool. I guess like just speaking to the guests and seeing what their needs are. We're huge on feedback, like asking the guests and their families, like what areas can we support them in. Well, we're creating our holistic health team that Maddie's going to be a part of.
Woo-hoo.
Nice.
That's really cool. We always get asked for like referrals within like a vast range of different services, and we always really want to be confident in the people we're referring to. So like finding passionate people like Maddie that we can refer our guests to and feeling like, I guess, really confident that they're going to make a difference in our guests' lives is really cool. So we're getting a personal trainer on board. We're getting also like a behavioral psychologist on board, and then a nutritionist, just so that we kind of have like this team of people that can really support our guests that we like trust and believe in.
Well, I actually got asked this morning by one of the guests if you like had a special like counsellor or therapist that you often referred to. So I had to contact Kerala, the support support coordinator? Program coordinator. Yep, something like credentials aren't important. Kerala, she's amazing. But I had to send her a text. I was like, hey, do you have this? She's like, we do. It's coming soon. Like, tell her to just wait. But it's really, really cool.
That will be cool because, we get asked all the time, and, you know, we can, like, jump on Google ourselves, but to have a team of people that, like, we believe in will be amazing.
Yeah, well, it's so, so cool. So many, like, just the fact that it's only been 5 years and you've already achieved so much, it's wild.
It's wild.
Yeah. So, so good. So if our listeners are wanting to find a little bit more about you and also about Stella, even listeners living with a disability that want to jump on board, like that would be amazing, guys. Where can they find you?
They can, I think looking at our social media is the best place to like, I guess, see for yourself everything that the Stella community is doing. On Instagram or on our website, Stella Experiences, have a look, like see all the fun that they're having. And just, I guess you can see firsthand like the community. And I think that's the biggest part of it. Just they're all out there having fun, they're making friends, and like they're just like their lives have been changed genuinely.
Yeah, absolutely. Even your Instagram stories on the Stella Insta is so cool to watch. Like people that are constant just like raving in the
Yes.
like, that looks so fun.
I know, on the shoulders.
Oh, it's so good. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, especially with the little one as well. She's done so well.
Yeah.
God,
She's not
Angel's
a
over
peep.
there.
Not a peep.
I always say she has media training. Like when we're out in the community, like everyone's
She
like, "Oh
knows.
my God, she's an angel," and I'm like, she knows. Like as soon as we get to the car, like she'll turn it on, she'll cry.
Oh,
Whenever
nice.
she's out, she's just like this peaceful little angel. I'm like, she's gonna be a celebrity, I think. She got the media training from an early age.
That's so good. Even when I said to Seb this morning, I was like, she's the most chill baby I've ever met. She'll be
Yeah,
fine.
I won't lie. Part of me was like, that's okay. Like, we can just, pause and break where we need to. But now I'm like, wow.
This is a good baby.
She's a good baby.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much.
Aw.
I know you're on mat leave as well, so I really appreciate it. We really appreciate it. Yeah.
Oh, it's my favorite topic. So yeah, I love it. And thanks so much for having me on. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to this week's podcast.
Be the first to know when the next episode drops by hitting subscribe on wherever you catch your podcasts.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at we don't know yet.pod.
See ya.